Welcome to Kaliru. Now we are going to learn about how to model this spindle design. This design is a complete revolution model, revolve model. We are going to make this solid body by using of revolved boss option. Now look at this. It is sectioned from the front portions at the center of its area, and the dimensions are clearly explained on the right section portions. Also look at this detailed section views at different ends. We are going to utilize these dimensions to make this model. Start from the small portions. This is the one of the important detail view to complete the entire shapes. Also, if you look at these dimensions and the portions of this exact area, starts from the right plane. Selecting right plane and create a sketch. Now I am going to draw two different kind of one center line. Horizontal center line as well as a vertical center line. Then using a smart dimensions to fix this vertical line at the distance of 156 divided by 2. What is 156 divided by 2? It is the small portions are placed from the origin of this area. These shapes or lies at the distance of 156 mm dia. Okay, that's why I am going to draw the profile now. First start from the midpoint line. Once you start the midpoint line and draw the entire profile first. By using of this line profile, I am drawing the entire profile. Using any of the dimensions, draw simply and complete the profile first. Okay, now the profile is completed. Then using a smart dimensions to fix this profile. Starts from the dimensions. Look at it. The dimensions of this horizontal profile is 6 mm and the vertical is placed in sum of its 1 mm and 1 mm. Start simply the 6 mm dimensions. Get back into SOLIDWORKS and use the dimensions horizontally. Only 6 mm. Okay. Then I am going to draw the another dimensions. Look at it. This dimension is 4 mm. Just to mention 4 mm. Arrest the overall profiles with our recommended dimension. Use these dimensions at the appropriate area. We can solve the overall profiles. Okay, now this dimension, the 2 endpoint is 12.7. Then the overall profile is 20 mm. The 2 endpoints, start point as well as an endpoint, is 20 mm. Okay. Then using a smart dimensions to fix this rest of the profiles. Look at this profile area. It is 1 mm both vertically as well as horizontally. We need to fix the small portions by 1 mm with each other, both vertically as well as horizontally. Okay, now the profile is fixed within each other. Then the vertical portion, it is placed under 8 mm of distance. So using 8 mm to select both the horizontal line and fix it in vertically, 8 mm. Now the overall profile are fixed within each other. Now I want to make this all profile at the center of its area. That's why I am selecting the both center point and use the vertical constraints to fix that the center of its portions. Also, if you want to fix this 12.7 mm distance pocket portions by drawing one horizontal construction line simply and using this midpoint to fix at its origin vertically. Okay. Now I am going to draw and fix this another endpoints because it is not fixed at the center of its portions equally. That's why I am going to use a smart dimensions. Select this endpoint as well as an origin point. Fix at the symmetrical distance of 10 mm. Okay. Then we need to fix this endpoints also. So just to drag it. Using a smart dimensions, we are going to fix this profiles. Make it into horizontal constraints now. And selecting the another endpoint and choose a horizontal constraints to fix it. Without using a dimensions. It is not fully constrained, it is in movable limit. You need to fix this overall profiles by using of the dimensions itself. Okay, let's fix it. The overall profiles are placed under the distance of 200 mm. That is the overall dia is 200 mm. we need to mention the radius of this portion. The radius is 100 mm. So selecting this horizontal line as well as an origin point, then fix it at the distance of 100 mm. If we want to fix our 2D sketch, only two things we need to do. The first thing is positioning the sketch with the origin, based on the origin. The second thing we need to do is arrest the profile with the recommended dimensions. Now I am arresting the profile with the recommended dimensions of 5 mm vertically. Once I arrested, look at it, the another endpoint only need to arrest. So selecting this line as well as the constraint line and use equal geometrical constraints to fix it in equal length. Okay, now the entire profile is drawn. Then using revolved boss options to make a solid body. Instead of using revolved boss to make a solid body, in these cases I am going to create another solid body. Because at the same kind of a center line, we are going to create another body with the same sketch profiles. Let's know what is the exact profile of it. Look at it. At the center of its portion, they have some kind of solid formations with different shapes. We are going to draw the same kind of a profile without using a dimensions first. Using a line profile, first I complete the entire profile without using a dimensions. Draw the complete profile and close it. Once the profile is closed, then only we need to use the dimensions to fix it. Start from the outer zone. Now what is the exact dimensions to fix this outer zone? Let's look at it clearly to deeper about it. Zoom in on this area. Now the outer dimension is the point. It is 66 mm. Let's start with from the 66 mm. From the origin, it shows the half of the dimensions. We need to mention only 33 mm. That is considered as a radius. Then the another endpoint. It is 64 mm. The overall dimension is 64 mm. We need to just mention a 32 mm because it is half of the values. 32 mm. Same as like the rest of this endpoints. Look at this another endpoint. It is placed under 60 mm of the dia. So we need to mention only 30 mm in these conditions. Just to mention 30 mm. Okay. Also we need to fix the pocket portion, that is the center of the zones. In this section view, we cannot have the dimension. So look at this another section view, we have a dimension of 25 mm. So using the same kind of a dimensions, let's select this both horizontal line as well as an origin point. And the dimension is 25 by 2. It is 12.5 mm. Then all the vertical direction, it is in fixed end conditions. Then we need to fix the horizontal portion, that is the overall line category. First we need to arrest the two endpoint. Look at it. The overall dimension is 32 mm. Horizontal line 32 mm. Next we need to arrest each endpoint. First look at the left portion. This endpoint is completely coincide with this bottom of this profile. So we need to use only coincide option in this condition. So instead of using a dimensions, I am selecting the endpoint, both endpoint, and choose vertical constraints to fix it vertically. Okay, one of its endpoints is fixed now. Then I am going to use a smart dimensions to fix this bottom of the zone. Then what is the exact dimension of it? Look at it. It is placed under 10 mm of distance. Only horizontal dimensions, selecting the first endpoint as well as the second endpoint. The dimension is 10 mm. Okay. Now the overall profile is drawn. Then using a revolved boss options to make a solid formations. Look at it. Two different profiles are drawn at one single sketches to make a two different kind of a solid body. All that comes under revolved boss option. Okay, now the two different solid body is created with each other. Next we are going to make an important zone. That is the center of its three different solid part located on taper lip. How we can draw the profile simply by using of this sketch profiles. Let's look at the right section view as well as the front view. These are the two different views, explains the dimensions and the positions of the area. First starts from the dimension. First I need to draw the profile. Why I am selecting this front plane means, look at it in the sketch. The axis or lies at the center of its portion. So we need to draw the sketch from the front plane itself because we don't know where it is exactly placed. It is not placed under any kind of a dimensional offsetting conditions. It is only placed at the front plane. That's why I am choosing this front plane and draw the profile. Before that, we use a fillet to make all sharp edges into a tangential formation. Use fillet expert in this condition. What is the fillet radius? Let's look at it. 2 mm radius for the top edge. Just to mention 2 mm. And selecting both top circular edges. Okay, apply it. Then again look at it. What is the exact radius for this bottom of this portion? It is 0.5 mm. Now change the radius into 0.5 mm. And selecting this circular edges evenly. It is not applied on the inner edges. Let's check it whether it is applied on the inner edges or not. No, it is in sharp condition, so no need to apply this. Delete it. Then selecting only the outer edges, all circular edges. Okay, now all circular edges are selected and filleted. All looks in tangential connections. Let's make a top. Now we are going to draw the center portions of the solid body. This axial. Look at this front view as well as the right section view. Start to create a sketch from the front plane. Select the sketch. And converting two different circular edges into a sketch because I am going to take the circular edges to draw my profiles simply by using of this endpoints. Also draw the circular profile again. Then we need to give the dimensions for this circular profiles. The dimension is 172 mm. Look at this right section view. It is exactly located 172 mm. Using as smart dimensions to fix these profiles. 172 mm. Okay, now the overall profile is drawn. Then we need to draw two different line profiles taperly without using a dimension. This just to fix this endpoints at the top of its limit. Now the another profile will draw by connecting this another endpoint. Okay, now both profile is drawn now. Then using trim entities to remove the excess number of the portions. Also, we created two different circular profiles. So just to trim the inner portions of the zone because I am going to transfer this sketch into a construction line. Using this 2 end limit, we can easily make the dimensions. Just to look at it. Now, what is the exact dimensions for this zone? If you look at the right section view, the dimension is mentioned. That is the overall thickness is 12 mm. Now, what is the exact width of this zone? It is 16 mm at the upper limit. Let's mention it. Selecting a smart dimension and selecting this two different endpoint. That is what I created this circular profiles by selecting convert entities options. We can easily make this kind of formations without using any kind of points. Okay, now the top dimension is fixed. The top profile is fixed. Next I am going to fix this bottom endpoints. Look at this dimension, it is 23 mm. Use the smart dimensions to fix it. We can easily select it by using of this construction line. That is what the exact need for it. Selecting both the endpoint to determine the dimensions of 23 mm. Now again select this endpoints. It is 23 by 2, 11.5 mm. Then the overall profile is drawn. Then simply make this another circular profiles to complete this profile. Whatever the dimension it is, simply draw one circular profile without using any kind of a dimensions. And trim the excess number of the areas. Close this profiles completely. Okay, now the profile is closed. Then form a solid formation. Choose an extrude boss and select mid-plate type. Now the dimension is look at the right section view, the dimension is 12 mm. Okay, just to make it into 12 mm. Okay, easily make a solid formations. Let's connect both solid body with each other in a tangential connection using fillet. Under fillet, I am selecting a fillet expert type and give a radius. First 4 mm radius for this outer edges. Look at it, this right section view. In that right section view, it is clearly mentioned the radius is 4 mm. That's what I am applying a 4 mm radius in this zone. Also, if you look at the top edges, in this condition also the 4 mm radius is applied. So get back into a model and select this edges. Tangentially apply it 4 mm radius. Again choose this top edges and the same radius is 4 mm. Okay. Then change the radius and selecting a different kind of an edges. Look at it, what is the exact radius is 5 mm radius. Change the radius now and selecting different edges. Side edges, front edge, back edge as well as another side edge. And tangentially meet within each other. Apply it. We can simply make it by using of its fillet expert options. Either you can choose a one fillet radius of 4 mm and selecting different kind of an edges also we can easily make it. In this time I just select a 4 different fillet options. 4 different fillet edges. Let's make it a solid formations by using of a pattern in 3 different area at 120 degree radius. In this condition it is not formed within each other, that's why I remove one of its radius. Clear the selections and only selecting the solid formations. And choose this 4 mm fillet radius. Form this fillet formations equally by selecting it at 120 degree. Okay, now it is equally splitted. If you look at it, the 5 mm radius we cannot able to apply it in this conditions. That's why I just select it and roll back or roll forward under the circular patterns. Just select and drag it and place it under the circular patterns. Then we can easily select it and apply this features. Within the same fillet features and selecting different edges. Form a fillet at all 3 different patterns. Solid body. Same kind of a fillet radius. 5 mm. Okay. Once it is connected within each other, we can easily make that solid formations. Now we going to make a simple solid formations and pocket formation in these conditions. Look at this right section view. The key portion, it is exactly located at 28.5 dia and placed at center point with the equal dimension of 6.4. First I am going to draw the circular profile by selecting these faces and fix the circular profile at 28.5 mm. Then draw 2 vertical lines. Also selecting the circular edge and change it into a sketch by using of convert entities options. Then draw 2 line profiles vertically. Then using a dimensions to fix this equally. From the origin it is 3.2 mm. Then the overall dimension is 6.4 mm. Okay. Then trim it. Using trim entities to remove the excess number of the portions. Maintain these profiles. We can use the extruded cut to selecting these profiles. Use selected contours. Under the selected contours I am selecting this surface portions. We defaultly select the sketch profiles under the thin feature also. That's why we cannot able to make the solid body. Let's uncheck this thin features and create a solid formations easily. because defaultly it takes thin features options. That's what we cannot able to make this pocket formations. Let's uncheck it and the pocket formations are created simply. Then we need to develop a two different kind of a revolve cut options. Let's model it. Selecting a plane, choose its faces and create a plane at 6 mm distance. Offset it from the faces itself. Selecting these faces at 6 mm distance, I create a plane, choose a flip offset to form it within the solid body itself. And creating a sketch by selecting off its plane. Draw one simple construction line in this condition, angularly, and use the smart dimensions to fix this construction line. Select a smart dimension, selecting this construction line and the endpoint, we get a quadrant. Using this quadrant, we can easily make an angle, 60 degree. The overall is 120 degree, that's why I just use a 60 degree from the center of its portions. Also look at the dimensions of this rectangular profile. Choose this 3-point corner rectangle. Select start point, end point, and the rectangular profiles are parallelly created with each other. Then use the dimensions of 3 mm in auxiliary conditions. Then remove the entire portions using revolve cut. Simply choose a center line to make revolve cut formations. Okay, the pocket is now created. Then using mirror features to mirror from left portions to right portion. Selecting this right plane. The overall solid body is created now easily. This is how we can make it into a simple solid formations. Exactly same as like our 2D sketch or a 2D drawing. Just to use or start from the detail view, make it simple.